Welcome back, Jeff. You joining us today? Question mark.
Are you fixed?
Yep.
Oh, good. Okay.
No, it's fine. I sent a message to Bill.
All right. Was he back from his vacation, do you know?
I thought he was going to be back, but he may be on the way.
Yeah.
So, or maybe he can't get online up there today, or who knows. So
Okay.
I'm going to start.
I'm not hearing that, David.
You're not hearing it? Oh,
Um,
I didn't turn it back on again. I'm sorry.
I know you had a different audio setting to allow that.
I did it. Here, this is for you.
That's a good one. Nice.
Yeah, that was good. So, did you ever do any of the workshops with Rick Barrett?
I did one a very long time ago. I couldn't tell you what it was about because, we're probably talking 15 years ago.
Uh, well, actually, he's going to be doing another workshop with, for me in October. So
Oh,
maybe that'll coincide with your trip.
doing it in your studio,
No,
in
it'll
your home?
be no. I'm holding them now at the Lyme Senior Center
Okay. Do you
in
have a
Old
date set
Lyme.
up for it?
What?
You have a date set up for it?
No, actually, I've got to do that today.
Okay.
Rick, Rick very nicely offered in response to my loss of Matt to come and give me a polarity session. He does polarity,
Hmm.
and so he came yesterday and uh, actually gave me a transformative session. um,
Oh,
really amazing. But we agreed on either the first or second weekend in October. And I haven't talked to the center yet because couldn't
Right.
call them before class this morning.
What would be the subject matter?
Um, Apparently now, and I can't give you at this point a greater explanation of this, but he said he has discovered a way to easily integrate dragon energy into what he has been teaching.
Okay. I don't know what dragon energy is, but it sounds interesting.
I know. Um,
All right. Well, when you know more, I will look into it and I'll see how it coincides with my dates.
yeah, yeah, and he's doing some really amazing work. His last 2 or 3 workshops have been really pretty amazing.
Right.
Uh,
He was living or is living in the Boston area, right?
no, he lives um, on I can't say it, the island in New York City.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
I don't know why I thought he was in Boston area.
no, um, and and his focus has been for a long time how to help people easily access and apply their energy.
Hmm.
And he's been particularly successful with that, both
Right.
both
Hmm.
in movement and in meditation.
Hmm.
Um, and he's in, I think, the final rewrite of his third or fourth book. I don't know. Uh,
Oh,
so I'm waiting to. He wants me to review it before, not write a review, but read it and
right.
give him
Feedback.
feedback on it.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm waiting for that.
Oh, nice.
um, Excuse me, I just got a message from Bill.
Oh, okay. Well, at least we know he's okay.
Oh, he got COVID.
Oh my goodness.
Wait a minute. So I will share this with you just since it. Oh dear. I'm sorry, I've lost track of things in the middle of day 4 of COVID.
Oh wow.
Feeling better than I have been, but sleeping mostly every day and obviously not functioning um,
Oh,
at the highest level. Um, Tomorrow's class also doubtful. I just don't
mhm.
have full control of my body. I'm really sorry not to have let you know.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh,
Well,
that's too bad.
yeah.
Go away on vacation and get COVID.
I know. I have been reading some articles that it's a strain of it is coming back at this point in time. So,
Yep, that's what I've heard too.
have to
He
start
he
careful again.
he shouldn't get it either because his health is not great.
Yeah.
Hmm. That may encourage me to wear my mask more.
Yeah. I've just started like over the last month not wearing it at the gym. That was the last bastion of where I always wore it was at the gym because it's a lot of people
Yeah,
around breathing heavy, working hard. I'd say for the last month I have not been wearing it, but now I'm getting a little bit nervous between that and Jesse and I went to Disney World the other day and I didn't wear a mask there, so
yep.
I'm starting to rethink things.
Oh, well. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
We should do what we're here for.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions or requests to begin the day?
No, just doing what we've been doing and flowing through it and working on elbows down and relaxing and
So
all
I'd
that.
like I'd like you to do the standing work, turning yourself sideways to the camera
Okay.
so I can see what you're doing.
All right. My transitions in this are probably kind of muddy. The forewarn you.
That's okay.
Is this a good view for you?
Yep, that's fine. So how did you feel that was?
Well, I generated a lot of heat. Um,
Okay.
so uh, again, it could probably be better if I focus more on the proper transitions, but I'm kind of more trying to focus on the eight postures.
Uh-huh.
Uh, no, it works for me. I feel energy movement. I feel heat.
Yep.
Um,
Um, yeah, I would, probably the major thing I would say, well, two things I'd say about the transitions.
yeah,
One is you're not consistent about finding the midpoint so that you um, bend and extend equally through the transition.
yeah, that's probably what I was referring to when I said it was muddied. I'm just not sure of where actually the arms and everything should be going on some of the transitions, I think.
Yeah. The other thing is, it seemed to me that in some of the transitions you lost the connection of the elbow to the scapula.
Yeah, definitely.
So that I think the big thing that I'm going to go through each one of them in a moment, but the big thing I would say that concerns me is you are not doing a C curve, you're doing a pelvic tilt forward and pushing your knees too far forward when you're sinking and rising.
Hmm, okay.
And that's hard on your knees to begin with.
All
Um,
right.
and secondly, you're not getting the spinal movement there that will benefit what you're doing.
Okay.
Um, so let me. So what I was seeing about that, and if I'm going to take the arms away,
Okay.
I wasn't seeing anything happening in the upper spine.
Hmm,
What was happening was when you went down, your pelvis was doing this and pushing the knees too far forward.
okay.
So if you're going to try to do the C curve,
All right.
which I presume was what you were endeavoring to do, am I correct?
It wasn't, that was one of those things that I'm not always having the presence of mind to do. It is, I know I want to do it, but if I'm thinking of other things that I'm focusing on, I lose it, obviously.
Yeah.
So,
Um, i- in that case, if that's where you are, you should think about making your sinking and rising smaller and getting the sacrum to go straight down. I mean, you can do this just going straight up and down and making sure you don't push your knees beyond the toes. And that would be okay. But
maybe I can back up and do it in that way.
I'm sorry?
Maybe I should do it in that way for now.
Okay. Then maybe I shouldn't go into the C curve. I'll do it another time when Bill's here.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. Um, it seemed to me it looked like you got a good connection of the elbow when you stepped out.
Right,
And it was a good, looked to me like a really good elbow connection through that first movement.
right,
Um, when you transition, remember from Jun to Khan, not Khan, to Earth, David. Um, remember that there's a little upward curve that allows you to twist the thumb edge in and then twist it out,
Oh, okay.
and that's how you get that tension. That's the only one where the thumb edge twists.
Oh, I didn't know that actually.
All the others are focused on the little finger edge.
Okay.
Um, and this one looked like you lost the elbow connection to the scapula all the time.
Oh, okay.
Because it looked like you were doing this. Okay? And
Right.
yeah, there um, we're talking about a distinction here. Yes, if your elbow's moving, it's going to be connected to some degree to the
Right.
to the scapula. That's just a physiological uh, element here.
Right.
However, that's not the most effective way. Um, so instead of when you get to this point, having the the elbows go back and then forward, if you can get them to come in and go out, but not go back, it will help you to get the scapula going in and the scapula going out. So you can move the scapula with that circular movement of the elbow
Right.
without going like this.
Okay. Are you initiating that movement from the scapula or from the elbow?
Um,
Side to side, I mean.
so there are two stages. The first stage is to do it from the elbow until you really have that connection clear, and then eventually, yes, from the scapula and the spine. So my question is, can you do it from the scapula?
I actually tend to find it a little easier to be consistent and try and do everything from the scapula. That's just usually me.
Well, that's fine if you are keeping the connection of the elbow, but you are not always. So um, you need to focus on the elbow until you do. Do you follow what I mean? Um, th- um, this one again, it's a matter of keeping the elbow. I mean the hands and arms are going in this circle, and so the elbows don't actually go back. They come in and go out. So they're making a little circular movement here. Um, um, this one, I think this one was pretty good, actually. I remember right. Um, the transition from here to this one was definitely a little muddy. So you're coming in, and this is one where you really have to be careful because it's very easy to do this,
Right.
and now I've lost the connection of the scapula. So from here, you have to make sure that you don't, the elbows can come in and go down, but they don't come in and collapse back.
Right.
So they come in and then go out. And this movement, I felt like um, was not, we're really trying to get this movement to go on this plane. rather than out this way. So you're coming in and going out,
Yeah.
and then this one was fine. Um, this one you're bending in and then going out, and it's on the diagonal, 45-degree diagonal. And this is another one where you really have to be aware of not collapsing back
Right.
into it. Um, and this one was pretty good, I think. So just a little bit there.
I think the whole concept of doing more of the side to side as opposed to backwards will help me in this.
That's really one of the keys is to make sure that you don't collapse the elbow back because that tends to lose the connection to the scapula.
Yeah, I think that's a big problem, or has been for me in probably most of the 8 postures. Now, I mean, I haven't even been thinking in terms of just going side to side
Yeah,
out as opposed to back and forth.
yeah. The there is a bend back and forth, but it's the forearms that are going back and forth, not the upper arm.
Yeah, I've been doing the whole arm.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that's kind of the tricky part is that the forearm is going back and forth, but the upper arm is going out and in.
yeah, okay. That's big. I was not thinking that terms at all up to this point.
Yeah. So that's why in a way it helps initially to focus on the elbow until you get that stabilized and you don't have to think about it. And then you can begin to make the connection from the scapula.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Especially the elbow and the forearm are not moving in the same direction.
no,
So that does require me to focus on my elbow more than I have been.
yep,
Right.
good. Okay. Do you have any specific questions in the form?
No, not at this point.
Okay,
I mean, everything that we have broken down so far, I understand. It's just a matter of getting comfortable enough with it that I don't have to think about every single movement. And
yeah,
some postures I'm much more able to do that than others. The
yeah,
wave hands is still a constant mental thing to keep the speed of everything and the rotation of everything, and
yep,
that's going to be a long-term thing. But so far, I think I'm okay right now.
okay. So why don't you flow up to where we stopped? Um,
Okay. Do you remember where that was?
um, I think we were at the subdued tigers and the kicks. Good. That looked actually quite good, Jeff.
Thank you.
Um, nice control. Trying to think. The really only maybe a couple of details. You might think about in going into focus.
Yeah,
I think we talked a little bit about that um, as you're stepping is ooh, and you want to keep that loo going a moment before you expand into the completion of on. So after the toe touches, there is a little bit more of bending in and then extending out.
okay,
So on so most of the time loo is a single movement of energy.
right, right,
Most of the others are two, have both the yin and the yang parts. Um, and on has that. So on has the yin and the yang in there. So that's kind of a subtlety. Um, I think the one thing that I would say to really be aware of is that you have a tendency to extend your arms well beyond 70%.
okay.
Um,
What's an example? Which posture?
almost every place where your arms go out, but
Oh,
uh,
I felt like I did it on wave hands maybe too much this time. That I didn't notice.
oh, I thought wave hands actually looked pretty good,
Oh, okay,
but it is on Zoom, and I, I some things uh,
right,
I'm not 100%.
yeah,
So if you were here,
yep,
um, for instance, when and I know this is a difficult one, but when you have gone to shoulder
right,
um, and then you go to the other, um, you were like here,
ah,
and my response to that, would be to tell you to pause, and I would take a hold of one of your wrists
oh, right,
because you've lost your possibility of root there.
right, okay,
But it was not only happening there; it was happening um, when you went into here and you went into on, and this was getting too far out.
hmm,
I mean, I'm unbalanced now.
right,
I
okay,
need to come back to here in order to settle into my root.
right.
So, um,
Yeah, I could see that.
yeah. So that's a really, I think, a pretty important point.
Okay, okay,
Um, it seemed to me your knees were better this week,
okay,
not shifting too far forward in
yeah,
movement. most postures.
I am trying to be aware of that, and I'm trying to be aware of dropping the elbows, as we
Yep,
discussed last.
yep.
Focusing on those refinements right now. So,
Well, those are particularly important, so that's good.
uh, so I will add in the try to maintain awareness of reaching too far and losing root as well. So that's a
Yeah,
good one as well.
but it's yeah, okay. Um, so do you have other questions in there?
No, not really in that section. Again, I think I know what I want to do on the postures in terms of bending and stretching. But adding your input on knees and elbows and reaching and all that gives
Yeah.
me more, as I said, refinement to try and get them proper so that
You
they're.
know, I think maybe my feeling, and I might be wrong about this, but my feeling is that you're still kind of thinking about the size of everything as related to the Yang style.
Yeah, I am. You're right. And not only that, David, I'm sort of thinking in those terms, but I'm also thinking of uh, opening and closing and moving from my scapula, which makes these movements bigger than they should be as well, because I want to feel the movement in my scapula. And as you say many times, it's a small movement. I'm making it a big movement because I want to feel it. I
Well,
think that's part of the problem as well, quite honestly.
yeah, and that's fine. There's nothing. Uh, it is. It's just as important, certainly in the form, to feel that connection to the scapula. So that's perfectly appropriate to do that, as long as you're aware that gradually you want to let it decrease in size.
Yeah, and that's exactly the progression of not when I end up leaning forward and opening too much, I'm extending my scapula too much,
Yep,
and that will, as I get more sensitive to it and
yep,
attached to it and aware of it, I will focus on making it smaller. Because
yeah,
I look at you, and when you do it, obviously you do it much smaller than I do. So I know what I want to get to, but I'm also trying to focus on those, the elbow and the scapula and all that right now. So just keep making me aware of it, please, so that I don't get stuck in that trap a year from now or so.
I don't. I doubt you'll be doing it a year from now, but I just want to make sure you're aware.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
Um, okay, so the next posture obviously is turning.
Turn,
What?
turn and kick.
Yeah, um, and that's probably pretty clear. Um,
Yeah,
I think the next posture after it is probably much more difficult.
yeah, that one's a little bit interesting. And I actually, when I was flowing yesterday with the video, I kind of was listening to what you were saying about that part, and it sunk in pretty easily then. But I just want to make sure that I am clear on it. So
Okay. Um,
especially the part, because we're going down and back up and then down and punch, punch low, and I just want to make sure I understand the separation of bending and stretching throughout that.
Jeff, excuse me, I need to
Oh,
take this call.
no problem. No problem.
Hi, John. Good, and you? Jane did, yeah. it's you. I'm sorry. She She tried to make the transfer and didn't get it completed. Yeah, but she has now. As a matter of fact, I looked at it a while ago to make sure. Um, and I don't think, I think that um, your bank probably will resubmit it. They haven't done it yet. Uh, yeah, I'm sorry for the, well, if, if they do, we'll certainly be able to be willing to cover it. I, well, Jane did do what needed to be done, which is get the transfer in there. So it's okay. I hope it goes through easily. If if you need another check, we'll certainly be glad to do it. Okay, thank you. Bye. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Uh, um, we just had the driveway completely redone, and um, Jane slipped on making the transfer of the funds to cover the check.
Uh, I hate when that happens.
Yeah, so I just wanted, this guy is such a nice guy. I wanted to make sure
Yeah.
it was okay. Anyway,
Okay.
so um, having done that last kick and strike, uh,
Yep.
you're on the right foot. So you're
Right.
going to turn and step around, and you're bending in, of course. And the thing here is to make sure you turn, hopefully with whole body movement, that right foot on the heel until you're in position on an angle prepared to go into the kick. And you bent in all the way to this point.
Okay.
And then
How are the arms rotating, assuming they are rotating
they're
through the,
they're twisting little finger edge in.
gotcha. Okay.
But we'll go through twisting, um, maybe
Yeah.
a little more quickly than bending and stretching, but we'll go through that too.
Okay.
Then of course the extension is in the kick, and this coming back in is a bend, of course.
David, at what point before the kick, at what point are you done bending and you're going into the extension and the kick? Because I've been feeling like bending all the way in until I'm ready to kick, like this, and then the kick is the extension and then bending back in. So I'm bending all the way back to here.
You're bending, you're bending until you are in position to start the movement of the arms and leg.
Okay. So as soon as you start up and opening for the kick, that's the extension.
That's the extension, and the
Okay.
I can't talk and do this. The extension ends when the arms and the leg are out,
Okay.
and you're at that point you're bending back in and stepping
Right.
to go into the next posture.
Okay. So it's a very long, as you're turning around and rotating and drawing in, it's a long bending in, a quick strike extension, and then right back to another bending in.
Right.
Okay. That's the way I understood it. I just wanted to make sure that was correct.
That's fine. So, um, so we kick, bend back, and step, and then rotate and shift and extend to single whip,
Right.
and then you're bending in as you step up and turn left, and you're extending out as you go down and over, and you're bending in as you step forward,
Okay.
and as you um, and you're extending as you go down. I mean, it's all pretty clear
Okay.
here.
Yep.
You're bending in again as you're hiding the fist,
Right.
and that continues all the way till you place that foot, and then you're extending out.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
let's see. Well, the next one, of course, you've already done. So this is extend, bend, extend, and maybe we'll stop there for a moment.
Right. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
So I'm presuming that ought to be a fairly easy section.
Yeah, I was that's the way I was practicing it. So, as far as that, do you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
So now would you back up and do those last two again? Because I couldn't see them.
let me move the chair out of the way and I can go further over here. So extend, extend, then not extend at this point, right?
Yeah. Um, in that kind of weird one after single whip, um,
This is bending in, right?
yep. And now
Now,
extend.
now extend. Yep.
Oh, yeah. You want to keep rotating your arms even more.
Like this way.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
But but you want to complete that rotation and shift before you step. Yeah. Um, let me just, so you've done a single whip,
Yeah.
shift, rotate, you bent in all this way,
Okay.
push down and out, and I am just now coming to about 60% on my right, well, probably a little more, 70% on my right foot,
Yeah.
and it's the continuing to 100% that moves my leg and moves my arms.
Okay.
And that, of course, is a bend, and
Right.
it doesn't feel like a bend in the leg, perhaps at first, because it is stepping forward,
Right.
but you're here, and it's this movement, boom, boom, that is the extension.
Right. Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
and then I realized that I think I said something wrong to you. You've gotten to here.
Yeah.
If you come up, this is all bending in.
Yep.
As you shift into the left foot, that's what drives the right up and that turn is turning both arms
Right.
and placing the foot, and then you're going forward into the strike.
But the bend is still going all the way up until you're here, right?
Yeah,
Up to that point.
it's here, and then
Yes.
the extension is only here.
Right. Yeah. No, I got that.
Okay,
I got that.
good. Um, I don't want to get too far ahead of Bill.
Yeah. No, I'm good for today. That's good. A lot of good stuff.
I'm sorry?
I said that's fine for me for today. You know that's a lot of stuff for me to work on
Yeah, okay.
between the 8 gates and this and everything.
All right, good. How's Jesse?
Doing very well. Yeah, he's I'm spending obviously as much time with him as possible, and things are going really well. And
Good. Is he enjoying kindergarten?
um, every morning when we go, he's a little sad. He doesn't want to leave the house, but then every afternoon when I pick him up, he's happy and he's had a good day. And
Yeah,
I did message his teacher yesterday and said, "How is he when he comes into the class?" Because every time I drop him off, he's sad. And she says, "As soon as he hits the class, he's in a good mood and he's happy."
oh,
So I
good.
think I think it's just the having to leave home in the morning. He's kind of he is a homebody. He's got Kate and I here, giving him lots of love, having fun. He plays in the pool. He plays his video games. He's got all kind. He's got all his Duplo. He loves it here. It's a paradise for a little boy, and he hates to have to go to school. But once he's there, he transitions very quickly.
Yeah.
And everything else, he's happy as can be. He's
Oh,
doing, yeah.